This is the Sony ZV-E1, a compact full-frame camera recently released by Sony, which has amazing video specs, but it is being hounded by one burning issue. Yes, of course, pun intended, overheating. Now, there are a lot of overheating test videos on the internet right now here on YouTube, but there are a few, if any, coming from where I live from here in the Philippines. So I thought of doing my own overheating tests with the Sony ZV-E1 right now during the summer here in the Philippines. Now, just a disclaimer, I didn't test this camera using the more advanced codecs like all-intra codecs or even 10-bit 422. The settings that I use are the settings that I used in my A7S III when using it for content creation. So here are the settings that I used for this test. I used both 4K 24 and 4K 60. The codec that I use is XAVC-HS or the H.265 codec, and I use 10-bit 420, not 422, 420. And I did both a vlogging test outside in the sun when we went to the beach and an indoor test here in my studio. Now, for the length of the videos, I didn't go over 20 minutes because for my personal use case, I don't record videos more than 20 minutes, even for talking head videos. If I reach those types of length, I really turn off my camera because I probably couldn't get, the thoughts out of my head when doing talking head videos without a script. And for 60 frames per second, I really don't know where I will use 4K 60 for more than 5 or 10 minutes at a time. I usually use 4K 60 or 4K 120 in my A7S III just for shooting B-rolls or slow motion for my videos. So don't expect tests that last for hours for 4K 24 or around 30 to 45 minutes for 4K 60. So the first test that I did is the vlogging test under the sun, and here it goes. All right, so I am going to do an overheating test right now under the sun. I'm in the beach right now, and yeah, I can't see my screen. Oh, there we go. All right, so I am using an ND filter and I am at f5 just, to avoid overexposure, and I'm just gonna let this run. I probably won't show the whole thing because you're gonna be bored, but I want to test in vlogging situations. I don't really need hours of recording at 24 frames per second at 4K, but yeah, I'm just gonna let the camera run, let the camera roll. Let's see. So for this test, I'm using a Sony battery, Sony NPFC. It's an original Sony battery, not third party, and the screen is flipped out. So I've watched in some videos that helps in the overheating, and I am under the sun. We are under the sun. It's not like high noon, but yeah, the sun is out and we are directly being hit by the sun. So yeah, let's see how long this will last. All right, so we are 8 minutes in under the sun, 4K 24 frames per second, no signs of overheating. But if you touch the back part of the body, right, I'm doing right now, it is a little bit hot. Let's continue. You okay? All right, we are almost 15 minutes in. It's like 14:45 of vlogging under the sun and no overheating warning whatsoever. I think I'll just let this run for about 5 more minutes. So this is 4K 24 frames per second. I don't see myself vlogging like 20 minutes straight at 4K 24. under the sun. So this probably could happen, this situation this long, if I'm doing talking head videos. But if I'm vlogging outside under the sun, like traveling, I don't think I will be recording this long, like one clip this long, like 20 minutes. So yeah, I think for my use case, I think there will be no problem when it comes to 4K 24 with the ZV-E1 in terms of overheating. Yep. And this is, I'm in the Philippines. One caveat though is it's a bit windy, although it's not like continuous, but there's sometimes breeze of winds. So that probably helps in, you know, dissipating the heat of the body. So yeah, I'll just run this a little bit longer, about 4 more minutes, then we'll see if ever the heat warning or the whole overheating warning will come up. All right, so we just passed the 20-minute mark of this test. No overheating signs whatsoever. We are vlogging under the sun, and yeah, I guess it's safe for, you know, travel vloggers, as long as, you know, you're not doing hours of clips. This is a 20-minute clip, then turn it off, stayed under the sun, a little bit of breeze, but yeah, that's it. No overheating issues for my use case. I don't think this will be a problem. All right, so that is the test while vlogging under the summer sun here in the Philippines. So now let's go to my studio tests, where I tested the camera here in the same conditions of how I shoot my videos for YouTube. All right, so I am doing an overheating test here in the studio. Right now I'm testing it at 4K 24. This is for my talking head videos, how I'll use it when shooting my videos here in the studio. So this is the current temperature here, 33.1 degrees Celsius, 68% humidity. So yeah, I'm just gonna let this run while I'm working. So right now the settings is 4K 24 frames per second. The codec is XAVC-HS, which is the H.265. The color is 10-bit 420, not 422. I only use 10-bit 420 here in my channel. Same settings as the settings I used when I was at the beach. So I'm just gonna let this run. Right now, it's already running for 1 minute and 50 seconds. So let's see. All right, we are exactly at the 20-minute mark. And I think I'm satisfied with this because I'm not gonna take talking head videos that are rolling this long for one clip. And I want to take care of the camera because the back is hot already. So in my use case, I'm okay with this 4K 24. I'm sorry if you wanted me to test this for, you know, longer periods of time, but you know, I don't want to fry my camera up. So at least 4K 24. 20 minutes, no problem, at 33.1 degrees Celsius. Now I'm going to test 4K 60, again in these conditions, which, just a note, I don't shoot in these conditions. This is hot. I will not be able to, you know, like stand this heat on a regular normal shooting day. I usually turn on the AC or the fan, but mostly the AC because the fan is really noisy. But yeah, so this is, even for me, this is hot. All right, so I'm now shooting at 60 frames per second. Excuse me. All the settings from the previous test is the same except for the frame rate, which is 60 frames per second, and the shutter speed, which I put to 125. 1/125. But one thing I did was to let the camera and the battery cool off first, like completely cooled off, before I did this new test. So let's see how long can this camera lasts for 60 frames per second at 33.2 degrees Celsius. This is the temperature in my room, so I'll be back after a while. So we're 5 minutes and 30 seconds in, and body is pretty hot, but no overheating warning icon yet. Still same temperature, still hot here. You know, I have to go out of the room, you know, just to like go in front of the fan. So yeah, let's continue. All right, so we are at 16:53, 54, and the body is really hot. But the overheating icon hasn't appeared. We are, 4K 60, so I'll probably let it run until 20 minutes. I think that's enough for me, for my use case at this, you know, in my situation, in my environment. So yeah, just gonna probably let it run until 20 minutes, then I'm gonna call this quits. All right, there, so it's 20 minutes and 30 seconds at 4K 60. I'm gonna stop this here. Clearly, this is a camera that I can keep, that I can use for, you know, how I use my cameras on YouTube or for my YouTube videos for content creation. So yeah. All right, so there are my tests. No experience of overheating whatsoever. But again, these are dependent on my settings and how I use the camera. Now, if you plan to buy the ZV-E1 for, you know, the higher codecs and for longer recordings, then I think you have to think twice if you want to get that, because we've seen in other reviews that for longer periods of time, 4K 60, just usually 30 to 40 minutes, depending on a lot of factors, like opening up your screen, using original Sony batteries and all that. But if you're going to use the ZV-E1 mainly for content creation, short bursts, vlogging outside, even under the sun, and you don't use the all-intra codecs, the high quality codecs of the ZV-E1, then I think this is a very good camera to pick up if you can afford it, because it's not really the cheapest vlogging camera in the market. Now that's the overheating test of the ZV-E1, and I will be doing more videos about this camera, and so make sure to tune in to my channel and subscribe. But for now, check out my other videos here.